All right, guys. So Adam Schefter pretty much just confirmed the worst possible case scenario for Jets running back Breece Hall: torn ACL, torn meniscus, out for the season. It sucks. It's an absolute blow to this Jets offense. I mean, not only was the Jets offense just humming in the running game, right? Just feeding Breece Hall, feeding Michael Carter. They're having so much success doing that. No team could really slow them down. I mean, look, Breece Hall got hurt midway through yesterday's game, and if it wasn't for his touchdown, the Jets probably would have lost. It's just as simple as that. It's not an over-exaggeration to say, and look, I'm a Jet fan. I tend to hold Jets players in high regard, but it isn't hyperbole to say that Breece Hall was on pace to winning Rookie of the Year. 8th in the NFL in rushing yards, 4 touchdowns on the season, and he's splitting carries with Michael Carter. It's not like it's a Derrick Henry situation in Tennessee where he's just, he's the guy, he's the focal point, everything is going through him. No, he is, Michael Carter is a very, very good young running back, and he's taking some of the carries and taking some of the snaps as well, which isn't a bad thing, by the way. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's just, to give more context here. Breece Hall's putting up absolutely outstanding numbers, looking like a true NFL back, true RB1, and he's not even out there 100% of the time. So I think it just speaks volumes about Breece Hall and, the player that he could be, but now the Jets are going to be without him. The good news, the Jets are 5-2. What an absolute start to the season. I am totally impressed, totally excited for that. Big stretch of games coming up here. Patriots, Bills, Patriots, AFC East games. This is a massive couple games here. Massive cluster of games. But here's the question, okay? And I posted a video about this earlier. What's going to happen at the running back position? Should the Jets roll with Michael Carter, maybe promote Bam Knight? Should the Jets explore free agency, bring back, Balaj, bring back Tevin Coleman, LaMichael Pirine, somebody like that? I was thinking Marlon Mack early on this morning, but I think maybe like an hour and a half before I posted that video, the Denver Broncos, out of all teams, ended up picking him up off of the 49ers practice squad, so he's not an option. Maybe Phillip Lindsay. I don't know what his status is exactly with the Indianapolis Colts, if he's on the practice squad or not. So maybe that could be something to explore. But if we're talking about a potential trade, there are multiple running backs. I don't want to say that could be moved, but I feel like teams would pick up the phone, right? Kareem Hunt. Obviously, that's the big one that everybody's talking about. But, I mean, Cam Akers from the LA Rams. Sean McVay has vocalized that Cam Akers might not be there in LA for the long term. He's a young back, doesn't have a ton of production, missed all of the 2021 season with an Achilles injury, but there's a lot to get excited about Akers, okay? Yes, he's had some fumbling issues, but I still like the upside. If the Rams are looking for a late round pick or a futures pick, if I'm Joe Douglas, I'm not looking at this first chunk of the season and saying, 5-2, good enough for me. I think if a sweet offer, comes on Joe Douglas's desk, whether it's a Cam Akers, whether it's a Kareem Hunt, whether it's a Dearness Johnson, that's the guy. I talked about him this morning as well. I really, really like Johnson. He's shifty. I felt like last season specifically, he did a lot when the Browns really needed somebody to pick up the pace, pick up some of the slack, some of the weight of that offense when they were dealing with a couple of injuries and Baker Mayfield wasn't really getting it done in the passing game. And I know Dearness Johnson, this season hasn't even taken a single handoff. I know he's not a household name, but I really like Johnson. I really do. So, and, of course, when we're talking about Johnson and Hunt, we do have to ask the question, are the Browns going to be sellers in the first place? Deshaun Watson will be coming back at some point. I don't really view this Browns team as a team that's going to be, essentially cashing out on this season. I think they might keep their roster in place, but you can make the same argument. Hey, Dearness Johnson hasn't taken a single, hasn't had a single handoff at all this season. Not really being utilized. He has 2 catches. Okay, so I think those are the big 3. I've heard some people talk about James Robinson. I'm not sure. I really don't know if Jacksonville's going to be moving Robinson. But look, at the end of the day, I don't want the Jets to necessarily just stand pat. I feel good about Michael Carter. I feel good about Bam Knight. But I think it would be a little unrealistic to say, okay, let's elevate Bam Knight from the practice squad. You have to duplicate what Breece is doing, or what he did, or take all of Breece's production, everything that was involved with Breece Hall, game planning, reliability, all of that stuff, and then just put it on a rookie, and an undrafted free agent in Knight. I think if the Jets really want to have success, Joe Douglas has got to make sure that there's not only depth there, because with this Jets team, we can't assume anybody's going to stay healthy. If Michael Carter gets hurt next week, then what's the plan? So I just want the Jets to at least do one move, pull off one move, whether it's through free agency, whether it's through a trade, whatever the case is. One move I think I'll feel really good about. But I'll leave it there. Let me know your thoughts down below. By the way, I don't know what's going on with Corey Davis. I don't know what's going on with Elijah Vera Tucker. Adam Schefter reported the news earlier, reported the Breece Hall news. So I'm not sure what's going on. I haven't heard anything from Saleh, about a potential press conference. So I'll leave it there. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Breece Hall out for the season. Absolutely sucks. Thanks so much for watching. And as always, go Jets.